Yo, 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 back again.
Hey.
We're trying to do these on Tuesdays and Fridays and hit a bunch of different topics. Obviously, you guys know we love talking about fitness and nutrition and mindset, but at the same time, we also love talking about relationships because the majority of our niche market that we love working with are people who are late 30s, early 40s, who are also couples. And so today, and it's weird because oftentimes people love when we do posts on this. It always gets a lot of traction, and it's probably a good reason, right? There's a bunch of perverts out there. Is we're talking about
Sex.
dang. Yeah, so
Talk
no,
about sex.
no, we just, because we just know what sex does, right? Like it's a part of a healthy relationship. And it's also something that piques the interest of people. There's so many things out there these days that people don't want to talk about. And that's one of them. It's taboo, it's whatever, but it's also part of a healthy relationship. And we've all known, we talked about last time, right? Of failed divorces and things, and how sex plays a huge part in that, hence why people get a wandering eye. Another, we dropped some stats the other day, and one that I honestly didn't share with Diane was, but I was reading something this week, and it said 36% of all men's time spent on the internet is spent watching porn.
Dang.
I know.
That's
What's up with
a
men? I
lot.
want to know about the women out there. How much time do you think the women are spending on it?
I don't know. I don't spend any, so I don't know.
Right. No. So I don't know. What do you think? I would say it's lower. I always never think about women watching it, I guess, but I know it probably
I would
happens.
say men's probably higher, but I could be wrong.
Those men out there these days. But so what makes a healthy sex life, right? So for us, I want to touch a little bit on the fitness side of things, on how it improves the sex life, right? And that's just obvious. We've said it before. We've always been thankful that we've always had a healthy, intimate relationship. And I'm gonna be bold and raw and real in here. We've been together for 20 something years, and we had a couple year break after 5 years together, and then we got back together. But we've always been on a pretty consistent. It used to be maybe 2 times a week, and now I'd probably say it's 3 to 4. Gosh darn it, Diane, you're an animal. Why do you always drag me into these situations? Wearing me out over here. I got good gym sessions here, and she's over here wearing me out. But in all realness, that was a huge part of it. Was I've always been into fitness, and Diane was always to a certain extent into it. But when she went hardcore more, it's crazy just to watch her transformation physically, and then to watch her confidence in the bedroom change, her mood change, her wanting to do it. I don't know if you just want to speak a little bit on that, on how it changed for you.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you're not confident with your body, when you're not confident with yourself, when you don't feel good about yourself, and you don't feel sexy, then why are you going to want to get undressed in front of anybody, even your spouse? Because it makes you feel uncomfortable. So when you feel sexy about yourself, you're going to want to have sex more.
Right. And then we just know that that's fun. It's like, it just makes a relationship bond more for us. Like I said, we're going to get real and raw in here, but last night we had a session, but we always keep it funny the next day. Like we'll walk around the house winking at each other, like, how about last night? Or when the kids are around, we'll make like a comment that they won't understand, and things, but it's funny the next day. Well, now we're bonding over a bonding experience that some people look as like, oh, that's taboo, or we're just trying to have pleasure. But for us, it's obviously a pleasurable thing, but at the same time, it's also a bonding time for each of us that carries over into the next day. And the fitness side of things, it really helped. It really changed her. Diane's confidence. She was a great spouse, so she was always willing, but you could tell she was hesitant at times. And so I always joked with her, because she'd always be the one who wanted the lights off, and it'd be like, and I'd be like, well, it's my turn this time, baby. I had the lights on or something, and she would sometimes be like dark, and I'd be like, I can't see you. And she'd be like, it's not dark
That's
enough.
The point at that
like,
time.
Put on your face mask that you sleep with that night, so you can't see me. But then once she started getting fitter, it was cool, like just to watch her confidence, like just even walking around the house, like strutting her stuff a little bit more. And that wasn't like an ego thing. That was just her just
feeling more confident about myself.
Yeah. And then that just transfers over into growing those areas of the relationship. And that is such a huge part of it. We're in our 40s, and I know it's sometimes weird to think about. I know, because probably when we were kids, right, we think our parents were in the 40s, so we're like, but hopefully, when we're into our 70s, now our parents are in the 70s. I don't know what they're doing. I don't want to know what they're doing, but hopefully when we get to that age too, things will happen,
I hope so.
Yeah, hopefully so. We'll let you guys know when we're there.
30 years from now.
We'll keep you guys updated on how it's going. But no, so I just wanted to challenge people when I know so many people say they don't have time for fitness and they don't have time for nutrition and all of that. That is, you got to make time in some way, shape, or form, right? Like, and that is one of them. So if you're not happy with your relationship, men or women in the sexual area, then look at that and see yourself, hey, how would me cleaning up those areas affect those areas for me and my husband? And is that something I'm willing to do for myself and for my husband, that for my marriage?
Yeah.
You may think you're fine with your body, or maybe your husband thinks you're fine with it. And there you probably are. You guys still love each other. When Diane's body wasn't as good as it now, I still loved her. You know, and same thing with me. Maybe when I was not as in good a shape right now, she still loved me, but we found new levels of love due to it, not just because of looks. But for example, you know, like we were just talking about last night's scenario, she was strutting her stuff in a little number for me. And I was thinking to myself, literally, and I tell her during those moments too, I'm like, wow, baby, you are beautiful. And literally, when you say that about your spouse, there's a lot of times where there's just better looking people out there in general. There's usually, we watch movies and things like that, but literally in those moments, I don't think that there is somebody better out there looking than my wife. And that's 100% the truth. Like,
Likewise.
oh, well, thanks, babe. Don't pump up my ego any more than it should. But in those moments, literally, sometimes I'm just like, wow, you know, because I remember being that shy kid who didn't have a girlfriend in high school. And then now here I am, married to an amazing woman who's gorgeous, and that only strengthens our relationship, and that only motivates her to go harder in the gym or be more consistent when times come that we don't want to be consistent with those areas of that's all part of the equation when of fitness and things like that. We just want to go, you know what, well, I know how much this is benefiting our sexual life. It's benefiting our vibrancy. It's benefiting us being better parents. It's benefiting us better business owners, all of that. So in those moments when it gets tough and we want to say we don't have time, we know that it makes it tough sometimes, right? We're busy, right? Our kids are homeschooled. We got to homeschool them. We have 2 kids, so we homeschool them. We run multiple businesses, so we got to run those businesses. We subcontract out to other people's businesses to help grow their business. We're very busy. I have in-person clients. We have clients all over the US.
Yeah.
So we're just as busy as anybody else. It's not like we're just watching Netflix all day and then we're like, let's go crush the gym. No, it's busy too, but we made it a habit. Just like brushing your teeth is a habit. You had to learn that as a kid, and somebody tell you, go brush your teeth. Like we have to yell at our kids still, go brush your teeth, you know, and I don't see the point, you know, but eventually it becomes a habit to where as adults, we don't even think about it. And that's all the fitness journey is as well, and nutrition. It just becomes a habit. And then now that creates so many other amazing things in life. And one of them being a sexual one. And it's just crazy when you hear about other couples that are struggling in that area, because you want to tell them like, hey, you know, do these things, do these steps, and it'll totally help it out. Especially when you hear about 36% of men time spent on the internet is watching porn. Is it easier? Probably, because they don't want to have to go woo their wife who are maybe tired and then do this, that, and the other, or disappoint them, or have to perform, or whatever it may be. It's just easier to turn on the internet. Well, then now you're watching something, I guess it's a real scenario, but it's fake to a certain extent. And now there's not a bonding time.
Yeah.
Then when you look at your spouse, you're not going to be as attracted because you're finding your ultimate. On the internet, you can find anything you want. So you can find your ultimate girl who's into whatever you're into. And then now your wife will never be able to live up to that ever. So now we're watering that down.
But there's no effort.
No effort. Right. And so when you communicate with it, when you communicate in those areas, and it's kind of awkward sometimes, you know, you have to tell each other things that maybe you would like them to do different, or like, hey, you're doing, you know, because sometimes we'll joke about like, what'd you think about that new move last night or something, you know, but we're so, you can see we like to joke around a lot. So we'll do it in a funny way that it takes kind of the edge off of it. But you got to keep growing in those areas to bond and not just get stuck in the same positions or time of day when the kids go to bed. Got to be open to new things. Like sometimes, you know, it's like, well,
sneak off into the closet real quick, or, you know, whatever.
And that seems taboo, but that's fun, right? If we always plan it, well, kids are going to bed at 9:45. So
guess it's time.
Yeah, honestly, and it's weird when we have to plan it like that. Like I almost like lose my interest. But when it's like, I see her walking around, she's looking cute, and I try to make a move, or we do make a move, then I'm like, oh, that's just like feels hot, you know? But when you're like, okay, at 10:15 tonight, I'll meet you in the bedroom. Like, it's like, okay, here we go. I mean, we've been together for 23 years. We've probably made love 7,000 times, so it's not any different, you know. But if it's spontaneous,
It needs to be kept fun in order to keep it fresh.
yeah, no, it totally is. And so all these things holistically go together. Everything's a harmonious in world. It's like we look at the food chain, right? Like some people are scared of snakes. Well, we need a snake to eat the rats. Well, then what are the, you know, like, and then same thing goes in that. Well, everything that's the same thing. Like a healthy fitness lifestyle leads to a healthy sexual relationship, which then leads to a stronger marriage, which then leads to something else, which then leads to changing everything else. You always say, if you become the best version of yourself, you help your spouse become the best version of themselves. Yeah. And then we lead our children, our families, our city now becomes better. Then our country, state becomes better, our country becomes better, and then the whole world becomes better, all just because you decide to make a little love with your wife. Like, I know, and that's crazy. But when it holistically goes in a circle like that, it's so simple. Like, why avoid one area and leave all the other things out of it? Like, I know there was times when Diane wasn't feeling sexy, and
our relationship probably took a hit because I wasn't probably wanting to have sex as much. But
we weren't having it as much as we are now, but it was still a good once to twice a week. And I know there was times she wasn't wanting to do it. And but she still would, because that was for the greater good of the relationship, and that kept us strong. So when we were able to find, like, she was able to find her groove with fitness and nutrition, and now leading men and women all over the United States, our relationship wasn't in a deep hole because she kept that bridge going. She was like, I know I need to take one for the team. I guess that sounds bad, but you know, but she did. So she kept a strong marriage. So when her time was right, then we were able to thrive, and now thrive even more. So it's don't ever just think that one area should be neglected because you're too busy or that's not your thing. Believe me, there's certain things that I don't like doing. That's not my thing, but that must be done. You know, and I just want to say to my babe, one of these days I will make laundry or the dishes my thing. That's not my thing right now, but yeah, I mean,
I'd actually prefer him just not to. I like it done the way I like it done.
She's the person, when I do the dishes, that she'll go back and redo the whole dishwasher and replace everything in different ways. So why even do it? You know, I mean, I'll put them in, I'll get them cleaned off, and then she can put them away.
So true.
So anyways, we could go forever on this topic, but I just want to encourage everybody who's struggling in those, communication with your partner.
Yeah.
We need to step things up in those areas. And if your partner's letting you down in some way, lovingly talk to them. They're not mind readers. And when we try to think they are, or we go to bed without just telling them, just tell them. Like, I would rather know.
Don't be frustrated because your spouse doesn't know what you're thinking.
Right. Like, she would tell me I'm not feeling sexy, right? Of course I would encourage her. Doesn't mean it's going to make it better. She had to go fix that problem for herself. Like, I still thought she was sexy, but she needed it for herself.
Yeah. And
it was amazing when she went and did it, because then now that just helped us so much more. And I would always say we were at a 10 out of 10 relationship. Apparently we weren't, because we keep going new high levels, and it's cool to see that there's new levels, but that's anything in life. That's when we preach to people. We don't only work with people who are in a crappy spot. A lot of the people that we work with are already in
a great spot,
in a great spot in life. And so it's just fun to find new levels at that. If you're making $1 million and you're loving that and you're just passionate about it, go for 1.5, you know, like if you're super fit, but maybe go for a bikini competition and push it even farther. If whatever it is you want to do, just take it to a whole new level in life. And that's fun. It's fun reaching new levels. The moment we stop pedaling uphill, what happens? You roll backwards. You might have thought you were okay, then you stop pedaling. And that when we stop pedaling, it's not good. So yeah, and don't stop pedaling your bike, babe. Keep that booty nice and tight. No, sorry. You know, and I know we have somebody over here in the comments, much love to her. And, you know, she was saying that she lost connection with her husband because of porn and constant lusting, right? And that becomes an addiction. When you open that Pandora's box, what happens is we might think that one time I can open this Pandora's box. I'm just, you know, it's been a long week. My wife's out of town. Whatever. I'm just going to open this Pandora's box just one time and it'll be okay. I won't do this when she gets back in town. Well, guess what? You probably will. At least maybe not as soon, but then it'll come sooner, then sooner, then sooner. Then once now you've worn out the porn thing, then maybe you're going to massage parlors, and then maybe you're meeting other women, and it's just now you've opened this thing. Same with drugs, right? Like that's why they say weed's a gateway drug. I'm not saying I'm against weed or whatever. We don't particularly take in substances because we can tell ridiculously high on life, but that's what happens, right? Then you're like, okay, I've had enough of this. Let me try this. Let me try this. Next thing you know, it's gone down a road. I know firsthand because I was a hardcore drug addict in my early 20s. I know that's how it started. And it's this very same thing. So just love on your spouse. Let them be your porn and be vulnerable and be open to new things as well. If you're not into that new, maybe something your husband wants to try, be open to it. Because I'm not saying you have to do it every time, but just like that will please him and say, oh, thank you for like being kind of maybe open to something like that. So yeah, I know maybe we'll put out I was joking with her at the beginning of this. I said, we should come on here and tell everybody we're creating a sex workout video.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
Oh man. So, but no, we were just joking about that, but we are building a bunch of different courses right now and they're about to be launched. We have a mindset course that we're releasing. We have a relationship course that we're releasing. Obviously fitness and nutrition that we already have, but we're about to release some other ones. And I think that one as well. And I know not everybody's spiritual, but that's a huge part of our life. We're going to be releasing one of those. And they're all online and super, super well done. I'm beyond stoked about them. And one of them we should probably will do in the relationship course will be one on how to cultivate a healthy sex life.
Yeah. It's important.
Yeah. Who would have thought this nerdy kid who didn't kiss a girl until I graduated high school would be on
Facebook Live talking about sex? So.
I know. Got other plans for me. Because it's funny, we'll joke sometimes in front of the kids. Like my parents will be like hear something and I'll be like, they don't know me when I was a teen, the ridiculously shyest kid in my whole city. And like I said, literally didn't kiss a girl until after I was out of high school. And I'll joke with them. I was like, oh, it's kids, I didn't get good grades in high school because I was too busy chasing the ladies. And Diane will bust up laughing and my parents go, oh, yeah, right. You know,
he wishes.
So no, I don't wish because it all led me to here with her. So, and I did meet Diane. She was still in high school and I was a year out. So it was soon after. So she does it. That's for sure. Well, we love you guys.
Yeah.
Got my guy over here, James. Hey, so true. Every click gets a little more juicy and it just doesn't stop. So, just love on your peeps, people. We love you guys. Whatever you guys need, always reach out. I mean, this is literally what we do for a living. So our numbers are always open. Our DMs are always open. And if you guys ever feel like, hey, you want a little help in that, because believe me, locking arms with other people is awesome. Gosh, we still have coaches in multiple ways and it's just fun. It's just fun having people around you who push you to be better. And honestly, I know it's weird spending money on those type of things. We spent an insane amount, but it's the cool part that holds you a little more accountable with that thorn in your side because you paid for something.
Yeah. But
then it's also just fun to have a team around you. You guys can't see, we take this super seriously and we truly care about each and every person. Yes, it's a business, but believe us, it's more of a passion than anything. So we love every one of you guys. Thank you for tuning in. And until sex episode number 2, we'll see you next time.
Bye.